I hope you guys can hear us too. I know there's a lot of
There's a
noise.
lot of noise in the background. We are in the lobby of the Caravel Hotel in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam.
Yes.
In the, I don't know if you can see it behind us, is the famous Saigon Opera House. And there's a lot of noise because they're getting ready to...
Hey guys. I'm gone. Then keep going.
They start getting ready to close down where we're sitting, so there's a lot of kitchen noise going on. Hopefully you can hear us.
Yeah.
And so anyway, we spent another day here in Ho Chi Minh City, and this is another broadcast from inside the Caravel Hotel. We're right downtown where you want to be, and how was your day?
It was good. So today, the other night we did a fun podcast, and I thought about it. I'm like, leadership is not something where we just off the cuff and just play around with so much. So we're gonna bring it back. It's 2026. We're gonna bring it back to being focused and being more legal. Because 2026 came in.
Yeah.
The New Year's, we're here. We're a little unorganized with how we're moving. We're not in our studio, and we're like, okay, just do a podcast. Let's keep it going, keep it rolling. But you know what? I think I said to them, people want to hear more about what's really going on in the community, what's going on in the country, and how we can help them.
Yeah. Okay.
Everyone has their personal life and all that stuff, and it's all fun and games. We're enjoying ourselves. We're in Ho Chi Minh City, but there's more to it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stress going on out there.
Yeah. There is. And so what we're going to talk about today is a really hot topic in the legal world, because it's going to be a landmark decision sometime around June of 2026, and it has to do with birthright citizenship and our president's executive order that he signed on day one, I believe, day one of his presidency. It was January 20th of 2025. I think it was the first day on the job. He signed an executive order which basically outlawed or did away with birthright citizenship. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. You want to give a little description or something? Or?
Oh yeah, I'm going to read a little description here. I was trying to check. Can you check the YouTube page to make sure it's operational? What's going on? I just thought about that. We're just going to check a couple of our pages to make sure the pages are running properly. But at the same time, so in January 4th, 2026, I'm going to read because at the same time, Tim knows all this stuff. I am still learning, and each podcast I get to learn and educate myself a little bit more on what's going on in the country, because I'm more paying attention to my business, and I don't want to be one of those people like, I don't know what's going on. What are you talking about? The news. This is what's going on. A lot of people are affected by it. So let me see if you all. This is live. Where's our live right now? Oh, right here. Your phone is always weird. Where's your live? History. Download. Okay, hopefully we are live. Oh, here it is. Okay. All right, so.
Okay. Anyway.
So it's January the 4th, right? 2026. We're in Ho Chi Minh City.
I've lost track of the
and
days
the
because
US,
we're always a day ahead of everyone. So.
And the U.S. is heading into one of the most historic citizenship debate in modern time. I know a lot of us are not from here. They're not from the United States. So really, everyone's with your head in the sand like an ostrich, right?
Yeah.
They put their head. Get your head out the sand. Stop being naive. Stop talking like, I don't know, I don't want to deal with this, because this, it may either affect you or it may affect a family member or a friend. So you can pretend like you don't know what's going on, or you can play naive, but when it comes down to it, the law is the law. So
we're going to talk a little bit about birthright citizenship.
So
what is it, how it started, what the current executive order is trying to do, whether it can be applied retroactively to people who have already been born, and kind of just a little bit of brief history. I mean, right now there's two, just so you know, there's two actual cases before the U.S. Supreme Court, both involving birthright citizenship. Well, maybe there's one. I think the U.S. Supreme Court agreed to hear one to start off with, and And so all the legal scholars are not really sure where this is going to all end up, whether the justices are going to punt on it and try to give their way out, an off-ramp they call it. They'll give it a little bit of a ruling, but not really a ruling, but we're going to have to see. So we'll talk a little bit about that, a little bit about the executive order.
And this is just educational. Tim is a lawyer, but he's not giving you legal advice.
Well, this is more of a legal issue. It's
Yeah,
in front of the U.S.
it's
Supreme
a legal
Court.
issue, but it's educational. Unless you hire a lawyer, that's when you really get all the legal part of it. And plus, it's an immigration lawyer job for this one.
Yeah,
Even though you know your stuff, but it's still an immigration lawyer. And
lawyer.
don't say Tim, constitutional lawyer, like you said. Don't say Timothy Schultz said this and blah, blah, blah. This is all educational, guys. It's educational. So the first thing I'm going to say in today's episode of Legal Share, we break down the growing legal battle over birthright citizenship and why it's become a major constitutional showdown. Because it is a showdown. It's like, what are you going to do? I mean, how many people are you going to kick out?
Trump administration versus such groups as the NAACP and immigration groups, and it could affect a lot of people depending on how the court ultimately rules on the one or two cases that are up before it, or at least one is right now, and we'll talk about that. But depending on how they rule, who knows who it's going to affect? So that's something no one really knows how it's going to pan out right now. But
okay, so can you break down birthright citizenship?
Yeah.
In like layman plain English, what is that? I mean, what does it mean?
Yeah, well, before the 14th Amendment was ratified back in, I think it was 1868, we didn't have birthright citizenship, and what happened was after the Civil War, the slaves were freed, but they had no right to citizenship, and so that was a real problem. And so ultimately the 14th Amendment was ratified in 1868. And what it did is it said that those that were not citizens here but were brought here as slaves could now become citizens, and it gave them the citizenship protections that all of us enjoy as citizens of the United States. And basically, I don't have it verbatim in my head anymore, but the 14th Amendment basically says...
Wait, I think that's another question. I just need you to answer one question.
Okay.
Jumping the gun. So, if you guys, I will check the chat later. I can't see everything. I'm not sure how to see TikTok at the same time. Meanwhile, we're streaming because it's so far away. But and whoever else is on Instagram, hey guys, hey family, friends, and everyone. But what I seem to understand with birthright citizenship, from my layman terms, was it was really for the slaves, like you said.
Originally.
But at the same time, why was it spread so wide if it was just for the slaves? Why?
Because it's like a lot of laws, a lot of benefits we have today. It starts off as something, and then ultimately it gets built upon.
They put other things in it. In my mind, they just put other things in it because they didn't really want to give the slaves citizenship anyway.
It was
my thoughts.
The 14th Amendment that granted citizenship to people. If you're born here in the United States, that was ratified in 1868. I think about 30 years later, in 1898, the Supreme Court confirmed the birthright citizenship in a case called U.S. versus Wong Kim Ark or something like that. But U.S. versus Wong Kim.
What is it?
Wong Kim something.
Yes.
I can't remember the name of it. But anyway, but the U.S. Supreme Court ratified the birthright citizenship or the 14th Amendment in that case. And what the Supreme Court said in that case from 1898 was that children born in the United States, they're born by immigrant parents who came here, were entitled to U.S. citizenship if you were born in the U.S.
So it went from slaves to immigrants to everything else.
Yeah. And basically what it says is even if your parents were here illegally, they don't have citizenship status. They're not a green card holder.
Which majority everyone was here illegally in the beginning.
All the slaves were because they didn't.
What do you mean all the slaves were? Everybody was.
Oh yeah.
All the conquerors.
Well, we slaughtered. We killed all. We killed all. Yeah, we just
you
killed
can't just say
everyone.
the slaves. Everyone, not just the slaves. Everyone was here illegally.
But I'm talking about immigration status. Once we became a country.
Okay, whoever decided who was
our founding fathers, right? They all started the immigration stuff, and pretty all inclusive. But anyway, so
all inclusive?
Never mind. Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. Why don't you just stop trying to confuse me?
I'm not trying to confuse you. I'm just trying to make you aware of what you're saying.
Birthright citizenship says this. If you were born in the United States, it didn't matter what the status of your parents were. As long as you were born in the United States, I'm sorry, and I'm not sure, was it one of your parents had to be a citizen or a green card holder? I don't think so. I think it just said if you're born in the United States.
That's why some people used to just come and they just jump on a plane pregnant, and then
because they want
their child to be born here,
and that way their kid becomes
an American citizen.
American citizen with all the benefits of being an American citizen. And so that's kind of where we stand, where things have stood for hundreds or 100 years or so, until January 20th of 2025.
So the 14th Amendment, and why was it written after the Civil War?
Well, because that's when the slaves were freed, right? After the Civil War.
Okay.
I guess the Emancipation Proclamation signed by Lincoln and freed the slaves, but they had no citizenship protections. They were brought here.
I'm like, what you gonna do? Take them back?
No.
Who's gonna afford? I mean, they can't even at that time. Could they afford to take them back and gather everyone?
I have no idea.
And where were they going to put them? To say that they weren't citizens anymore, or citizens at all?
Yeah. So anyway, so we've lived with the 14th Amendment for what was ratified in 1868. So 100 something years, right? 150, 160, 170 years. We've lived with the birthright citizenship, and on January 20th, our new president, his second term as a president, came into office, and on day one he signed an executive order that outlawed birthright citizenship.
Why did you think he did that?
Well, I think because he feels that that people are taking it. I don't know for sure what goes on in his mind, but that's a very strange place to be in. But anyway, I probably because he wants to try to control immigration, and he's basically saying these people are coming here. They're having children. They're not here legally. They're having kids who now become citizens. They're entitled to all these benefits, and they're not contributing, which isn't necessarily true. You know, a lot of our illegal immigrants or immigrants without status here.
They work hard. They work
very
hard,
and they pay taxes, and they get no benefits. And so, but we've talked about that before.
4 to 5 people living in a home, and they're getting it done. But
go ahead.
At the same time, there's the good part and the bad part. There's some people that are taking advantage of it, and some people that are wasting the funds of the country. And
the Trump administration has had, you know, as everyone knows, a very anti-immigrant, you know, look at everying. The outlook on immigration is kind of terrible. What's going on with the ICE agents and everything else, and so this was just another step. I mean, meaning I hate talking in pronouns. Our president had to have been thinking about this for quite some time because he did it on day one. That was one of his first executive orders. Boom, birthright citizenship, all done. So that was challenged by a number of different groups, and they were able to get injunctions to enjoin the president from implementing his executive order. And it's now those injunctions that have been challenged by the Justice Department on behalf of the administration, and these are the cases that are going up to the Supreme Court.
So the name of the person was Wong Kim Ark.
Oh, Wong Kim
1898.
Ark. That's right. That was the first Supreme Court case, the Wong Kim Ark case, that basically ratified the 14th Amendment. Well, not ratified it, but upheld it and said it was constitutional, it was right, and it was valid, and so it's going to be an interesting showdown coming sometime this year. I mean, they're expected to have arguments in the next several months, I think.
Yeah, California, everyone's fighting against it. I'm nervous myself. I'm not, hey, let me zip my mouth.
Yeah.
But,
so what
I mean, to revoke a citizenship that people have worked so hard, because, I mean, you're paid in the tax system. You have done so much to even get to where you are.
But that's, you know, I looked at that.
And your property, I mean, like,
I don't think that's...
You know what I always think about, too? What about those people that get snatched and kicked out the country, and say, what happens to their property? I mean, does the state confiscate it? Suppose they had land and homes and bank accounts. What happens to all that?
Unless there's family members or something like that, I don't know. It kind of sits in limbo. I mean, it's not an easy topic, and it's not an easy solution if there is any.
Yeah.
But interestingly, I looked at the executive order.
Wait, can you explain the landmark case though?
What's that?
The landmark case with Wong Kim Ark. Yeah.
No, it basically,
from 1898.
it basically affirmed that the 14th Amendment was valid and constitutional and
was she fighting for someone? Was he fighting someone? Is a man or
I don't know. I never read the case.
Okay, I don't know either.
It's just one of those cases I have not read. Some of those old cases are difficult to read because, believe it or not, we wrote very much differently and we spoke very much differently in 1898 than we do now. It's pretty amazing. Some of the old decisions are really. I know when we first went to law school, when we looked at those early Supreme Court decisions were tough to read.
So what do you think? What do you think will happen if the court changes the interpretation of the subject of judification?
Of what?
What is it?
Jurisdiction.
Oh,
yeah.
shoot.
What are you reading? What are you reading?
I don't know.
What happens if the courts change the interpretation of subject to the jurisdiction? That's probably the language from the 14th Amendment. I don't know. Here's a couple different issues about this whole challenge to the Trump's executive order and then the challenge to it and the injunctions. The executive order says that it applies to any child born after February 19th, 2025. Nothing, as far as I know, in the executive order applies it retroactively. But that's one of the big fears, that people are going to say, well, they're going to take that. If let's say the executive order is upheld and the Supreme Court says Trump is allowed to do that, then they're afraid he's going to say, well, if we can do it for everyone coming after this, now I want to go back and apply it retroactively.
Lord have mercy.
Which would be a big legal challenge because the retroactive application of substantive statutes, it's a whole big technical legal
It is,
issue.
but I mean, things seem to be changing so rapidly.
Well, yeah, that's one of the problems. I mean, what about if they just say, well, the executive order has been upheld, now I'm going to go back in time and look backwards from everyone before the executive order, since it's being upheld. If your parents were here illegally and none of them had status, you're going.
Yeah, but I mean, if all the immigrants and everyone get out of the country, how do you expect the country to run?
Well, yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of educated people that run different sections or different sector of the country. If we take them and we migrate them back to their country, and now they're educated, so their country is obviously is going to be more educated.
Yeah.
If you send them back to their country, so they're going to have all these skills that they're leaving with, and now they're going to better their country. Because I've heard a few people that go back and technically they're kind of happy sometimes that they're back. They're sad about leaving and they're like upset, but when they get back, because they're so educated and they've learned so much, they're thriving in their country.
I mean, this is the big debate with immigration in our country, isn't it? Like how many people, immigrants, illegal, legal, whatever, that are, most of them undocumented, are working in picking the fruits and the vegetables and doing a lot of the labor.
And helping the country to run.
Let me tell you, we live in West Palm Beach, Florida. There is construction all over the place.
Yeah.
I'm going to say 95% of the construction workers are speaking Spanish when I walk past them.
They do, and they're quick, and they're smart, and they're hard working. They show up.
And if you start getting rid of all those people, we're already in a population decline.
Who's going to do it?
That's exactly right. We're already in a population decline, and
the birth rate is already down in every country, every single country so far,
except some.
Except for Africa.
Every major country, every major like industrialized country. Japan is way down, U.S. is way down, Europe is down, and then so we need immigrants.
It's down in all the countries that are on top.
But we need legal immigrants. So that's one of the problems, and that's where I totally not disagree, totally agree with.
But most legal immigrants, they don't like to work.
What do you mean?
They want, from what I see, the legal immigrants that come in, they don't work as hard as the immigrants that are trying so hard to come in.
I don't know.
They want
That's kind of a generalization, but.
Okay, yeah, it is. But in my mind, they're not going to be scrubbing your floors. If they can pay to be if they can pay to be in the country, they're not going to be scrubbing your floors. They're not going to be washing your clothes. They're not going to be begging you for a job. They can afford themselves. People who can pay to be here can afford themselves. They don't need to be here. It's just a want.
In any
so they're
event,
not going to be doing all the little jobs that you expect them to do. So,
but anyway, immigration is a whole nother topic and a very, very complex topic, and that's why it has been solved in 50 or 60 or 100 years because no one wants to sit down and really try to solve it. But
yeah, most people I know that came here and they paid their way and everything, they have multiple homes. They have they're retired. they're not working. They're here for fun on vacation. That's
Yeah.
it. They're coming for their best lives. Come on, think about it. All the people that we know that even that did everything the right way, they're having fun.
Yeah.
Look at everyone that came in. They're not working hard. They're properly.
Anyway.
They're on vacation.
Okay.
Or they don't even want it. They don't even want
Anyway.
the citizenship.
So anyway, there's two basic challenges to Trump's executive order that outlaws the policy. And number one is that it is violative of the 14th Amendment of the United States, which granted birthright citizenship to people. And it also violates certain immigration laws, which kind of mirrors the language of the 14th Amendment.
Will it go back and take the citizenship back from the slave or the slave descendants?
That's what we were just talking about.
I know, but I'm thinking.
I don't know.
They're gonna try to go back that far?
It depends.
Or maybe because
It depends what. No, they're not gonna. They can't go back and retroactively take things away from dead people.
Not dead people, but the offsprings.
Yes, they possibly can. That's the whole concern is that number one, the executive order doesn't say it goes retroactively, and usually a statute such as this, unless Congress expressly states in the statute that it can be applied retroactively, usually it's not. But no one knows, because our government seems these days to do whatever it wants to do and not give a crap about whatever. I mean, they just do what they want to do and be damned on what the law is. So
are there repercussions?
And so that's I mean, it's a real concern for people going forward. There's people that are pregnant right now, and they're thinking, oh, my kid's going to be born and be kicked out of the country because he's not going to be, he or she's not going to be a citizen.
Or there's people that's deportation. That's the whole other.
But that's what I'm saying. So, but then there's other people that are very concerned that if the executive order is upheld and is valid, then the Trump administration will look backwards and say, okay, well, it's valid, so you were here illegally before the executive order. But that's a whole other several years challenge. Supreme Court. In the event.
All right. So the next question is, let me find it. Sorry, I try to go on TikTok. Landmark. So what happens if the court changes the interpretation? Oh, you already said that.
Yeah, but that's exactly what I was just talking about. Is if they change the interpretation,
we have no clue.
We don't know what they're going to say and how it can be interpreted, and so everyone's up in the air. They don't know.
So the real world consequences: families, passports, voting rights, immigration, and status, and more. Because now
if it can be applied retroactively.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, if it's not applied retroactively, but it is upheld, then anyone who's born going forward,
anyone that we just don't like, we just kick them out and snatch the passport. You say the wrong thing. I wonder if freedom of speech is going to be affected. Think about all these people who are speaking up.
Get rid of all the laws and just do what they're doing anyway. Yeah. That's what it seems.
And voting. I mean, the slaves got rights to vote. Everyone, it's voting.
It's a mess.
You pull it back, birthright citizenship.
Well, this is why
you change the voting. Who's voted for who?
If you're jumping.
That's what it's asking. It says it.
What's that?
The consequences of pulling back birthright citizenship is families, passports, voting rights, immigration status, and
more. That's if it's applied retroactively. Because if it's not applied retroactively, then it's just if you're born after this, after the executive order was signed. Well, I should take a step back. Because the order was signed back in 2025, January 20th, 2025, and so anyone born after that, who's currently living, they could probably go back and say, okay, now you were here illegally, so adios. You don't get these. We're going to revoke your citizenship. And so there are those people that have been born since January 20th of 2025, whose parents, neither of which had status. They weren't a citizen. They didn't have any type of legal status. I guess you could be deported. Your citizenship could be revoked.
So I know there's a lot of people in hiding right now.
Well, here's the
their
other
parents.
Thing. Well, here's the other thing. Well, but here's the other thing I read also. Let's say the Supreme Court affirms or upholds the executive order.
Yeah.
And you were born after January 20th of 2025. You've got U.S. citizenship. If they get rid of you, right, because you're not a citizen, and they send you back to your country. What do you have in your country? Because you're not a citizen there either. You were a citizen of the United States.
Wait, so
If I was born
Yes.
here in the United States, neither my parents were here illegally, right? And now Trump signed an executive order that says
no, it's just like track and field sports. You're still, if I'm Jamaican. You're still
he's not
Jamaican.
a citizen.
But
if you're born in Jamaica, you have a Jamaican citizenship.
No, but if one parent is Jamaican, you can still get a Jamaican passport.
But
If one parent,
but you have to go back and do all that. That's what everyone's
you can
concerned
do it in
about.
Miami.
Wait, how about you being deported because you're not a citizen?
You're still a citizen of your country once your parents were born there.
But then you're here illegally. If
That's not what I'm
birthright
trying to say.
citizenship is struck down, then you're here illegally if you were born after January. That's what I'm saying.
I understand that, but at the same time, you're saying that they won't have a country. They'll still have a country as long as wherever their parents is from, that's their country.
Okay, but they don't have citizenship. They're going to have to apply for citizenship in a country where their parents are from. Anyway.
They don't have a choice.
Okay, I know, but you know.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a problem. This is
Just make sure that you have skills and you're wanted. Like if you lose your citizenship and you're the fastest athlete in this country, it's okay. You'll be faster in your other country. You might get better contracts, better deals, all that stuff. So just make sure that whatever you're doing, get your skills up, get your education up, get your knowledge up, get everything up that's needed if you need to be able to migrate to another country, if you have to go.
Yeah, so
be ready.
I have been reading a lot on this recently, and the majority of legal scholars and people that do this type of work, constitutional law stuff, they think that the Supreme Court's going to butt heads with Trump on this one, because it's such a long history of birthright citizenship being lawful. So for them to, but who knows what the Supreme Court will do? They're so bizarre.
And they're still giving citizenship right now, because I just saw when a social media content person that I follow, they just got their American citizenship.
Yeah, they're still doing it, although they canceled something in Miami not too long ago. But
I think they put a hold on it.
One of the ceremonies.
And then they may have opened it back up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because no one knows what to do or what's going on.
It's just the problem is that people just don't know.
Yeah.
So think of you being a parent and you've had a child.
I feel like it's just a distraction. It's just
it is.
I can't take all this. It's just a headache. Every day is something new. I can't take it. I just need to focus on what I need to focus on, and the government needs to do what they're supposed to be doing and kind of keep me out of it. I'm stressed out.
At least they keep.
Let me just go to work.
They're going to keep our gas prices low since
Yeah.
they're not taking over Venezuela's oil. But anyway.
Oh Lord.
Anyway.
Oh Lord.
But you can imagine the parents of children, the parents who are here illegally, who don't have status, because I think that birthright citizenship is, if one of your parents has some sort of legal status, you are a citizen of the United States if you're born here. The problem is now you're a parent. Let's say I'm the father and I do have a green card. My wife does not, and we had a child since the executive order. And if the executive order is upheld, are they going to go back and try to deport my son or my daughter? I don't know what to do, and everyone's
scared.
They don't know what to do.
They're getting ulcers. They're having heart pains. It's stressful. It's too much stress.
And
how do you work and take care of yourself and take care of the country and be productive and just
you just don't know what's going to happen.
Everyone's just on edge.
Yeah, it's going to be a really interesting.
2026.
2026 is going to be an interesting year. This is a major decision.
And Trump's been in as a president, 2 years now?
1 year.
Only 1 year?
Yeah.
Themselves out too.
Right.
Like, hey, take the slaves, take you.
That's
You're
our
not
country,
even supposed to be here either.
Yeah.
No, raped and killed and pillaged. That's.
And now the other issue.
Give us all your bacteria.
Is sometimes the Supreme Court doesn't want to tackle these difficult questions, and so they do what's called an off ramp, and they give an opinion, but the opinion's like this mushy, wishy-washy, means really nothing type thing.
The Supreme Court is like, I have no time to waste with this stuff. It's just distraction. I think it's too much distraction. Yeah. I think there's better things we can do with the taxpayers' money.
Yeah.
That's a line that everyone uses, but I think there's better
some
things.
of the issues for the Supreme Court are do the states have a right to challenge the 14th Amendment, I guess? Do they have standing to do so?
I think San Francisco.
That's a legal question of standing, whether or not standing, it means you have a right to bring a lawsuit. You have some sort of interest in the outcome of a lawsuit. You have some potential injury, so you have standing. And then I think the other one is, I believe one of the cases that's going, I think the case that's going up to the Supreme Court is a class action case. It was originally knocked out by the district court, and then the lawyers brought it as a class action. And so that's right, because I think there was a ruling that said you can't, one person can't sue and then get an injunction that covers the entire country. And so the lawyers got smart and they brought it as a class action, which means as long as you certify the class under certain conditions, the children that we're bringing the lawsuit on behalf of, or the parents or whoever is bringing the lawsuit, they represent everyone in that class, everyone who has a similar situation, right? So we represent. So that, I think that's the case that's going to the Supreme Court, and some people are worried that the court's just going to simply say, yeah, they're not a right class, so we're just going to dismiss the case and then start it all over again. But of course, then we'd have more legal challenges and more years
and more money being wasted over nothing. Distractions. It's distraction every step of the way.
But it's really, I'm going to...
And it's a waste of money.
I don't have written down, but I'm going to see when the oral arguments are going to be, and you can listen to the oral arguments.
I just say,
really
I think if someone, like, to take their birthright citizenship or whatever, not even birthright, you can't take that away, citizenship or whatever, I think it's if they're criminals, if they've done something bad in the country, you know, it's time for them to go.
I agree.
If they're drug dealers, if they get caught on certain things and you prove, not tricking people and thinking that, you know, because sometimes people get caught up in where they're not even the person that really did the crime, which is sad. But if you know for a fact and you have real good evidence, then those people should go.
Yeah, we don't need
Go back to your country. Go back. Why are you here causing problems?
Yeah, and I totally agree with that.
But if it's just, you know...
If it's just the fact that you know...
You just want to change
people in the administration, the current administration wants to change it because they don't like people being born here and
or the way how they're voting.
Yeah, that's
another big thing is the way how they're voting.
And you know, but that's the wrong, and that's the problem with what's going on in today's country is that, you know, it's you're kind of screwing the wrong people sometimes. I mean, if you look at what's going on with all the ICE and all the raids and everything, you know,
I think it's a sport, and if you don't know how to be a team player and learn how to play the sport,
but I totally agree with.
Keep on cheating, keep on doing all this stuff. I think it's going to fail in the.
I agree with you, and I agree with the Trump administration
in the future
and all the wackies he's hired. But I agree with
that aspect.
Bite
everyone. Whoever did wrong is going to come back and bite them.
If you're a bad person, if you're a criminal, and you're here committing crimes, if you're doing illegal things.
And to me, it doesn't. If you're not doing everything that you're supposed to do, that's right for this country. It may not affect you as a person, but it's going to affect your generations to come.
Yeah.
And your story is going to be told. I mean, how do you want your story told?
Anyway, so Birthright Citizenship is up for grabs here in 2026.
Yeah.
It's going to be a landmark decision. I think it's supposed to come out sometime mid-year, maybe.
Yeah, if they even get it out, because it's going to be,
who knows?
You know.
They've been putting it off for a while.
Will the government have enough money to fight? Because that's what's happening.
The government has plenty of money. No, but
to fight that, every day is another fight.
They have plenty of money. They can print another $1 trillion if need be. So, plenty of money, don't you worry about it.
So guys, drop some comments. Should birthright citizenship stay exactly as it is? Been understood.
1868 or something?
Yeah, for centuries. Or should it change? What's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I just think if you're, I understand the other side of it, that they don't like people who just come here and have a child and the child becomes a U.S. citizen.
Do it like Dubai.
What's that?
Dubai. No one's become a citizen. You work and you go home.
You get your little visa.
You get your visa. You're here for working, and then you're back home.
But it's
no one gets a citizenship.
We as a country, our population is declining and aging, by the way.
That's another thing.
And we need immigration. We need legal immigration, but we need immigration because otherwise it causes a lot of problems. We can't keep, if the population doesn't grow, we can't support our Social Security program and our Medicare program and all the programs that we have, but not enough people paying taxes, and so.
Because there's not enough babies.
Yeah.
Guys, you need to have more babies. Yes.
All right.
So ladies that's out there, I know you're educated. I know you got your stuff together. whether you you don't always have to have a guy. Still have your babies, have the kids,
Anyway,
enjoy
we're
your
talking
life.
about birthright citizenship, so.
Yeah, that's birthright.
All right.
Birthright.
That's right.
The right to give birth.
As long as you're legal.
No, it's because I think what's going on. I know I'm changing the subject a little bit. I think women are so educated that they're like, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna do this now. I'm gonna do this now. And I think that's why the birth rate is going down. When you guys had us under your thumb and controlling us, we were just popping out babies everywhere. So I think that's another reason why the professions are being changed too, where less education is coming out for women, and they're taking up back a little bit of the education of the professionals.
I don't know.
Like, okay.
In any event.
I'm paying attention to all that too.
Anything
dealing with women.
So keep an eye on what's going on in the Supreme Court with birthright citizenship. If you're interested.
Especially if it's going to affect you or your family members
or your,
you know. Or maybe you can. I mean, if they get deported, at least you have a home, a vacation spot to go to.
There you go. There you go. Yeah.
Because a lot of the countries do want the educated people to come back.
Yeah, they do.
And support the country, and and give them some advice and improve their country. So. All right.
All right. Well,
so that's our episode.
Yeah. Been great talking to you. We're sitting in the lobby of the Caravel Hotel in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. Everyone's walking by us because the place we're in, I think it's called the El Opera Cafe. I think so. It's closed.
Yeah.
So there's no one here, and everyone's looking at us like we're idiots.
No, they're not. You always
think,
have the negative stuff.
They're all looking.
No, everyone's very interested in what we're doing, and they're like in awe that that we did this little production right here. We have like 4 cameras going right now.
4 cameras, 2 lights.
Did a good job. I think it's awesome.
Why do we need 4 cameras?
Because we have 2 Instagram. I can't get legal shit Instagram up yet. I don't know why it won't go live. We have YouTube and we have TikTok.
Oh.
And I hope you guys, I don't know if you guys can see outside. Where are we? What's this place called?
The
Opera House.
Yeah, this is
the
Saigon.
Opera House. We're in Saigon right now.
Well, we're in Ho Chi Minh City, formerly Saigon, but this building is called the Saigon Opera House. And it's very famous.
I'm not sure if you guys can see it, but we wanted to give you a better view than the other night.
Than
the bed. Why? Because we tried to do a view, but then the lights were blocking the mirrors, all kind of stuff. So we're like, you know what?
Reflecting off. There wasn't enough light coming through. There wasn't enough light coming through the window, so all we saw was reflecting. Lights reflecting. So.
We're just reflecting now, but it's not as bad.
I think it's a little bit. You can probably
it's a little better.
But it's nice. But this is a great area. So
it's a big tourist area. Massages every step of the way. I'm going to try to go get a quick facial, real quick. I think it's like $15 or $20. They close at 3, so I'm going to go there real quick. So, and just to let you guys know, we won't be broadcasting maybe tomorrow because we will be in China. China.
That's what the president says. We'll be in China, and I don't know if we can broadcast from there.
Yeah.
They
TikTok.
really have some strict, what do they call it?
Social media blocks. I cannot post on TikTok. Instagram, I think I can post a little bit, but it does time me out a lot.
Yeah.
It's more complicated than anything just to even mess with it. So you won't see us for a couple of days.
And if we are able to broadcast from China, we will do so.
Yeah.
But it'll be very innocuous because I don't want to say anything that's going to...
I'm not doing that. I'm not... He can broadcast all he wants.
I'm
going to sit my black ass down.
You may not
How
see
about
us
that?
for a while.
No, I'm not going to see you for a while because I'm not doing anything that's going to affect me.
Yep. All right.
I already know what I am. I know how delicate my skin is.
Wow. All right. Well, listen, thanks for listening. Hopefully that's some good information, and we hope you really keep up abreast on what's going on.
And don't be like an ostrich. Don't get your head out of the sand. Because I hear a lot of my friends say, "Oh, I don't know what's going on. What are you talking about? I don't care." It doesn't affect me, honey. When it affects you, you're gonna see. It's just like cancer. People only think about it when it affects them.
That's right.
So pay attention to what's going on.
All right.
You can play naive all you want, but you need to pay attention.
All right. Well.
All right. So what is it saying? All right, guys.
Just remember, it's not just talk. It's
legal shit.
Have a good one.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. And now.
Am I still on?
Yes, you
Probably.
are. Oh man, I got some good comments. Imagine having grandparents from 4 different generations. Hi. I want to.